This is a different video than the videos I normally make. And this is a topic that I've talked about to a lot of my friends and family, and I've kind of ranted to them about it. But I feel that it does need to be brought to a little bit more of a generally broad attention. Because it is something that, no matter what your stance is on it, you kind of have to admit it's not a very good thing. In the haunter community, there's always going to be nostalgia bias. That's something that I've just kind of come to accept, you know? Like, for example, people liking the original Flesh Eater over the 2020 Flesh Eater, despite there being numerous mechanical improvements on 2020 Flesh Eater, because they're nostalgia bias towards the old one. And that's alright. That's okay. I don't fucking care about that. I've got a lot of friends whose taste relies heavily on their nostalgia and their own life experience. That's gonna happen because that's how taste evolves. However, the people who will go out of their way to claim that Spirit is shitty now but used to be fantastic, or super uber kid friendly now but used to be great, that is A, very stupid, and B, honestly, a pretty harmful mindset, especially when you're advocating it so fucking harshly. Alright? Now, there's a lot of points that people will bring up to say that Old Spirit was so much better, right? Props were gorier. Okay, the gore always looked like shit, first off. There's a few exceptions, I realize. And I have a lot of old props. I have a lot of new props. I have 40 props, all ranging from different years and different companies. So I think I have a pretty broad taste. Gore on consumer level props almost always looks like shit. Chin Up Zombie, gore looks like shit. The only one, like the fucking head stump on like Beheaded Bride looks like shit. The head stump on the Barnyard Butcher's Beheaded Bitch thing looks like shit. The only one that was ever really even that good and executed well, in my opinion, was Eaten Alive in 2011 by Magic Power. Gore doesn't make a prop scary. Gore is just a crutch that can help sell the idea of the prop that makes it scary, okay? Gore is not required, alright? Now, people also say that just the props in general back then were scarier. And now the props are all kid-friendly and such. Let me debunk that by saying, sure, you could argue that shit like Barnyard Butcher is more scary to look at first glance than shit like Nozzles. However, you have to understand that some people have A, different tastes, B, different fears, and C, different things that they think can make a prop scary. Nozzles literally makes jokes about fucking gassing people. Like, I mean, and a lot of old props are scary. But then a lot of them are not. You give them way too much credit. Like, dude, oh my god. You're really gonna argue that something like Count Vigor is scarier than Cuddles? Like, I don't get it, you know? And I would be okay with that if it was just phrased as somebody's take. If it was just like a hot take, sure. If that's just your opinion, okay, I can get behind that. That's your personal taste. However, when people phrase it as if it's fact, and as if it's something that is just universal among every prop, like, ever, no, that's bullshit. People who are saying that companies were better back then than they are now. In some cases, yeah, it's true. In others, it's not. Techie toys? Perfect example of their quality being very fucking consistent. Because you've got masterpieces like Harvester from 2011, and then you've got shit like Exterminator, Mr. Dark, Harvester of Souls, Fogging Reaper. These are all incredible fucking props that have been made very recently. And I would argue they hold up just as well as the older props. Seasonal Visions. Sure, back in the day, I have a couple of old Seasonal Visions props. Back in the day, I will say that the paint, yes, was a little bit more consistent. However, they were built like ass, okay? And back then, I feel like they didn't do nearly as much with their characters. You can't use a blanket statement to place over an entire company saying they're worse now than they've ever been. Oh, SVI is so much worse because all they do is clowns now. Yeah, they make some damn good clowns. There are some that I will agree with. Morbid, up to their demise, got progressively less good. Jemmy is dog ass. Jemmy is very bad now. And that's a situation where it can be explained, because the decline of Jemmy can be very much attributed to A, a change in how props were made, B, how props were displayed and sold and how people wanted them, and C, party time. That's 4. C, party time. Fuck party time. Party time kind of killed Jemmy. But anyway, and many people often cite the props ideas even being more disturbing back in the day. No, that's still not very true. Like, Harbinger of Hell, who I absolutely love that guy, he's, a demon from hell. Okay, cool. That's a pretty dark idea. Black Widow Witch, one of my favorites of all time, she's being burned at the fucking stake because she's a witch. That's cool. That's a cool concept. You know what else is a cool concept? Cuddles. He's a fucking demonic clown who feeds off the happiness of children. That's terrifying. Grimsley. Grimsley is a demented 200-year-old clown who literally has fingers that are so thin and bony that he can use them to stitch children's mouths shut so they can't scream while they're being used as freak show props. That's fucking terrifying. Like, I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. It's because people like this, who think that everything back then was better, don't give new shit a chance. And I have no doubt, I know for a fact, in 10 years, people are gonna be saying, oh, these new props are so bad, I wish they would bring back the classics like Cuddles and Cagey and Nozzles. Like, it's just gonna happen regardless. And it's such an annoying thing. Oh my god. I remember when I first got into the Haunter community, right? It was about 2014, 13, 14, around there. Every YouTuber who I would watch would constantly complain about how bad the quality was now, about how things are not collapsible anymore. They take longer times to set up, how shit doesn't last quite as long anymore. And now people are complaining about similar shit and revering those props from that time. It's a very generational thing, and I realize that. But the quicker that we actually address this and start giving new shit a chance and start giving people who prefer new shit, taking them more seriously, I think it's going to help the community as a whole. There's a reason why the Jemmy community is dying. It's because they are so gatekeepy and don't give anybody who wants to get into the scene any shot. And that hurts. The Jemmy community can die. I don't care about the Jemmy community. But the Haunter community as a whole, I want to do better with this, okay? And I know I've done this before. I've done this kind of shit before. I used to be the exact same way. And then I realized that an age of a prop doesn't define how good it is. And I think people in general need to realize this so that we can all unite together under the same umbrella. There doesn't need to be different factions of haunters. We're all haunters. We all like Halloween. And hey, it's a fucking hobby. It's not a competition. Our job isn't to make people feel bad. It's to enjoy and encourage other people to enjoy and express our love for the art. Okay? Now, I know this is kind of out of nowhere, but this is something that has been pissing me off for like a really fucking long time. And especially now that I help run the Spirit Halloween Discord, it's just such a prevalent issue. You know? I'm not saying don't have taste. You can have a preference towards older props. You can have a preference towards newer props. I have many friends who fall into either of those categories. But what I am saying is don't try to push those tastes onto somebody else and try to claim that those tastes of yours are fact. Because that helps nobody, and all it does is alienate the people who don't like what you like. Okay? We're all haunters. We're all on the same team. That's it.